Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the VIR virtual drivers meeting. First, I got to say it was a heartbreaking decision to cancel Watkins Glen to next year. We had put so much effort into managing around the 14-day quarantine with getting testing on site, specialized masks, had to write a specific plan to the governor. But at the end of the day, they still wouldn't come off of single occupancy for rooms, and they wouldn't give us a certificate if somebody tested negative within 24 hours. I didn't have that in writing. And without that, there's no way I was going to ask people to come into New York State and put themselves at risk. So it's onward and upward to VIR, which has no travel restrictions. And so I wanted to set the stage of what to expect when you get to VIR. Number one, it'll be a non-spectator event. We will have our car show, and we will have all of our racing activities on track, but we will not have spectators. We will not have actual drivers meeting in the room. We will have an outdoor makeup driver meeting if you need it, but hopefully if you watch this video and you respond via email or social media, that gets you off the hook for actually physically having to attend the meeting. When we're doing this, just to do as much as possible to social distance. Your temperature will be checked on the way in and out of on the way into the track each day. You will be filling out a waiver that has tracing information. So God forbid we do have a case show up, we have a way to kind of track it and help contain it. We are expecting people to wear masks when they're within 6 feet of each other. If you are within 6 feet of someone, we really want you to wear a mask. We will provide the mask. We're going to provide hand sanitizer. We're providing your individual pen to sign the waiver. We're going to do everything humanly possible to keep you safe. And, you know, our mantra of racing with SVRA is safer than going to the grocery store is something that we believe in and we want to absolutely deliver on. So we've we learned some lessons at Road America this year. We learned some lessons at Mid-Ohio. I think we'll be better at this than there. And in both of those two places, I'm proud to say we did not have a single case that I'm aware of show up after the fact. So I want to keep our streak intact. You know, this is such unprecedented times. I hope all of you and your family are safe and healthy. I hope that you're looking forward to this event. We're going to work our tail off to give you a great experience. We will not be having our annual dinner. When Connie's food is so good, I'm going to miss that. But it's, again, I don't want to put 300 people in a confined, closed area. It's just not prudent to do that. But all the things that you come to expect about our schedule, you may have read that we're going to do a Trans Am double header. It does not affect your track time because we're not having the V-Rock race and we're not having Elva as a featured mark. So we're using that slot to run a 170-minute race on Sunday. Everything else is exactly how we've had it planned. And I'm just excited to see y'all. My team is chomping at the bit to get back on track. We were so geared up for Watkins Glen, and at the end of the day, we couldn't overcome the state level obstacles to make it safe and easy for you to come. We expect a great turnout, surprisingly good turnout already. So we're thankful for that. We want to do a great job. We want you to be safe. And again, I look forward to seeing you. Be safe. And Alex, why don't you take it away and show the team what you're expecting of them? Because I know we're not going to have a single accident on track at VIR. It's going to be the perfect race, genuinely driving, space between each other, no dive bombing, no screw ups, no blowing red flags. We may not even see a flag other than green and checker, I'm thinking the whole weekend. So Alex, why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Tony, for that insight into our race weekend here coming up at VIR. Welcome to VIR from the SVRA. Happy to have you finally back racing with us. As Tony said, we had a tough time at Watkins Glen trying to pull that off and jump through a lot of hoops to try and make it happen. We're apologizing it won't happen again. I know next year Watkins will be terrific and a phenomenal presentation as usual at Watkins. I am Alex Miller, the race director, and hopefully you won't have to see me too much this weekend. This is, as Tony said, the only regular drivers meeting for the weekend. This video will run continuously at the Tech Shed on Thursday and Friday for those who missed the video. Enduro drivers meeting will be held separately on Friday for those of you running the Enduro. That's at 12:20 lunch break at the Tech Shed. Enduro meeting, live Enduro meeting at the Tech Shed at 12:20 lunch break on Friday. There are no longer helmet stickers, so we won't be issuing any helmet stickers any longer. VIR and SVRA have required you to sign our usual liability and new COVID-19 waiver and participants forms at our race at VIR, and I have copies of them here I want to show you. These forms, you can take a look at them. They're the usual form and the COVID-19 waiver forms. Make copies for all your drivers and crew to sign and bring them with you to registration. Save you a lot of time once you arrive at the track. Everybody, as Tony said, must fill them out. So just make some copies, get it done ahead of time. In terms of the schedule, please only use the final schedule version. You'll get a registration so you don't miss any sessions. One of the pluses of this virtual meeting is we can talk about staging and load-in, which is pretty important stuff. Please share this information with whoever drives your rig. I find a lot of the time we give information to drivers, but the actual rig drivers are clueless when they get to the track. So please help me out here and get this information to our drivers. You'll turn off Orion's Way Road and follow around to the registration booth, which will open at 3 o'clock. Registration is going to open at 3 on a Wednesday. Get registered, and then trucks will start to move after that. We do have a load-in map, which will be attached to this video as well. And that's a map that kind of looks like this. And it will show some VIR loaded information for those of you who aren't familiar with it. Many of you raced there plenty of times, so you'll be fine with it. The loaded map will is attached to the video for your review. Paddock marshals will escort you to your spot once we start moving the line. VIR paddock is always tight, so let's conserve space. Please keep only to what is needed. Our paddock marshals can no longer allow to save space for another competitor, please. If you need to be together with another team, that's fine. Come into the paddock together, and we'll be happy to park you side by side, and we'll bring you in simultaneously. Another issue with VIR is that it's very tight. The fire lanes are pretty small. We have fire marshals that do come through for us during the race when we're there. So please stay out of the fire lanes and do not block the fire lanes. Get your rigs parked in place and get your trailer ramps up and use our fire lanes. If you're doing test day, you do not need to go through Tech Thursday for test day, but you must complete Tech before you run your first session on Friday. So Tech is as usual in the Tech Shed. I'll be open all day Thursday, of course, and Friday and Saturday as well. For those of you who are running test day, I don't want to see any racing on Thursday. This is a day to be used for sorting out your car and yourself. A lot of us haven't run many races this year, and for some of you, it may be your first race of the year. So let's be courteous and give everybody the corner and figure out which way the road goes and refresh your memories. All drivers in test day must be registered in that car to drive. If you want to be a co-driver on a test day, you must register with the registrar as a co-driver in that car and be licensed, of course. I will put out a double yellows on the first lap of each session on Thursday and Friday to ensure that you see where the flag stations are. I don't want anybody complaining about missing a flag station. VIR is pretty good about having those pods around the track where all the flag stations are, so let's not miss any flags and make some dangerous situations. There are safe zones at VIR, which is a great thing too. FIA requires them for a lot of tracks now, and they're along the orange guardrail sections around the track. If your car falters for some reason and you find yourself slowing down, please try and get to one of these areas. These zones have an opening in the fence, and it allows corner workers to pull you back into that area so the session can keep going. I want to try and give everybody the maximum amount of time, and so car stoppage can be avoided if we can get to those safe zones. Your oiling signs is a big deal. We have big signs that I can't show you here, but they are big signs the corner workers will have. The chief steward gets a report from a corner station that you're spraying or dropping oil. He'll show you this sign. Do not drive around to the paddock, please. Oil cleanup is our biggest time killer for your track time. Help save some track time for others and yourself, and keep the session going. Pull off when you get black flag there, or you see the oil sign. We'll tell you back to the end at the end of the session rather. When we're doing black flags, please, there's no passing under a black flag. I've run into that problem with people too already who've managed to do that. Black flag is at turn 13 and start. If you're shown a black flag, you need to come into the pit lane and stop at the black flag station for consultation. A full course black will bring us all into the paddock and the session is ended, or you'll be directed to the pit lane for a restart. The Vintage Motorsports Council has a thing called the 4-off rule. A lot of you are familiar with. If you go 4 wheels off during practice or qualifying, not the race, but during practice or qualifying, you're required to come into the pit lane and stop at the black flag station for a quick safety check. If all is fine, we'll get you back out on your way right away. If you don't come in on your own, you will be black flagged. So if you go 4 wheels off, keep that in mind. You've got to come in for a safety check on qualifying and practice sessions. When you see the checkered flag, the session is over. Do not miss it. If you go around an extra lap, you just wasted 5 minutes of someone else's precious track time. This penalty is loss of 1 lap in the next session, and in qualifying, you lose your fast qualifying lap. In the race, you lose 1 lap in the results. So blowing the checker is very valuable to us in the track and the tower about controlling the time, so we can give everybody as much time as we can. Cool down laps to be needed at 2/3 race speed. So keep up the speed when you're going around on your cool down lap so we can get the next session started on time. Yellow flags, when you see the first yellow flag, that's when you need to slow down. All must slow down at the same time. We have rear end collision problems there. If we need to go to full course yellow, the pace car will come out and collect the leader. Please keep up and pack up so we can get a restart as soon as possible. If you get caught passing, you will receive a stop and go penalty under yellow. If your momentum carries you past another car under that yellow flag, if you give the position within the lap, no penalty will be served. So keep that in mind. For those of you who've done a no-no there, give the thing back and you won't have any trouble. Red flag. Slow down and come to a complete stop at the nearest corner station. Wait for directions. We will either go full yellow and the pace car will catch the leader, or we'll go full black and return to the paddock. The session's over. As I say, I'm always trying to give everybody as much time as I can. The blend line is really important here too, going out onto the track here. When you exit the pit lane, keep the white blend line on your left all the way till the line ends. Cars are at top speed here, and as they pass here, you need to observe that line. Any violation will get you a stop and go penalty at any time. So repeat offenders will sit out the next session. So it's a pretty important start. Jumping the starts. Again, the tower here has a great view of the start line. Any jumping of the starts will get you a 10-second stop and go penalty. You may advance your position as soon as the green flag begins to fall in any row. Any row may begin to move as soon as you see that green flag begin to fall. Over-aggressive driving is one of my favorite subjects within vintage racing. We are a vintage racing organization. It's here to go fast and have fun, but this behavior has no place in vintage racing. My favorite statement is, no one remembers who won, only the guy who wrecked someone else's car. So please, let's keep this clean. It's the overtaking car's responsibility to make a proper pass. Dive bombing from too far back when the front car has not seen you yet often results in a drive into the door of the first car. I believe 75 or 80% of the time, these moves are the fault of the overtaking car. Only the overtaking car can see the car in front. The car in front can't see the car behind very well. Be patient when making passing decisions, especially in practice and qualifying and test day. There's no reason for anybody to run into someone's door in test day. The penalty for causing an avoidable contact wreck in practice is the loss of your 3 fastest qualifying laps. In the race, you'll be disqualified. And I have done that, even at our championship. Your best lap from all qualifying sessions will grid you for the first race. Your finish position from feature race 1 will grid you for feature race 2. The grid and finishing results will be found at the tech shed. Our paddock makes things very tight, so please park your crew cars out on the grass. It's not a long walk. We need to keep the fire lanes open and less congested. My perception of this event is going to be like Mid-Ohio. There's not a lot of race options to go to, and I think we're going to have a packed paddock and a really good entry. So please, let's keep our crew cars out of the paddock and get them parked up on the hill there. Shorts is always an important part of VIR because it's so warm. It's hot in September there yet. And so each track is different, but VIR allows for sprint races, shorts are permitted anywhere, anytime. For the enduro, shorts are permitted in the cold pits only, never over the wall. Never over the wall. No shorts over the wall. Transponders are available to rent at the tech shed if you have a problem with that. Track damage, again, is something that's important to SVRA. If you have $100 worth of oil dry, you won't hear from me. But if you take out a guardrail section and it's $500 or $800, you're going to get a bill for it. So I will be approaching you with that information after the session's over, and we'll send you a statement at your home. But to be prepared, SVRA can no longer absorb all the track damage costs caused by an incident. Sunday night stay. You may stay in the Raceplex area where we first staged, but you must clear the paddock. That's it. Let's have a safe, healthy race weekend. And thanks for all of you for coming with the race of the SVRA.